Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we are discussing the Girard-Perregaux Laureato Absolute Chronograph Crystal Rock. This was a late 2020 model year limited edition of 100 pieces in a composite of carbon fiber and fiberglass. It's 44 millimeters in diameter by 15.3 millimeters thick. Lug tip to lug tip, it is 53.2 millimeters. Throwing it on my wrist, the composite of fiberglass and of carbon fiber with a rubber strap, a sapphire crystal, and rare for this class of watch, a matching composite case back. All of this is 94 grams, making it extraordinarily light and wieldy on my wrist. Now, my wrist is 16 centimeters circumference, and I can't wear a 44 millimeter Royal Oak offshore. I can wear this quite comfortably. I could recommend it for a wrist as small as 15 centimeters circumference because it is so light, and also because the lugs angle down at the edge, so it doesn't appear to flare awkwardly over the edge of even a small wrist. It's neither thick nor thin. It's got a little bit of a stepped case flank. It's under 16 millimeters thick. It won't fit underneath a tight dress cuff, but it should be just fine underneath a jacket sleeve. The original Laureato bowed in 1975, making it one of the original integrated bracelet sports watches. It predated the Vacheron 222. It predated the Rolex Oyster Quartz. It predated the Ingenieur SL. It predated the Nautilus. Really, it was in the same early family of integrated bracelet sports watches with the Rolex 5100 and the original Audemars Piguet Royal Oak. Well, what the Girard-Perregaux Laureato Absolute collection does to the Laureato is exactly what the Royal Oak Offshore collection does to the Royal Oak. In 2019, GP decided that it was going to make bigger, bolder, more sporty Laureato models alongside the standard series, and so the Absolute was born. Now, this watch features a strap that's designed to be just as integrated as any bracelet-clad Laureato. So you can see how the case flows into the lug hoods, which flow into the taper of the strap, and even in profile, the taper down of the lugs continues into the strap. The cut of the strap matches the bevel of the lug profile. Everything's matte finished. We have a contrasting stitch, and then what appears to be textile down the center is actually embossed and molded rubber, so it's all rubber. You can absolutely swim with it. We have a clasp here that is a combination of composite internally, and then it's actually a PVD titanium externally. It is a twin trigger release, so you have to press both to release. You can see we have a combination of satin and polish outboard for a nice subtle contrast, great attention to detail. Internally, there's a little push button right here. You press the button, and it will allow you to slide the strap while it's still anchored inside of the clasp. So you will ultimately have to change which holes you use to make big alterations in the sizing. If you just want to make fine-tuning changes incrementally up to about a centimeter in 10 steps, you actually have this little push-button slider that's built into the clasp body. Now, rolling around the case itself, you can see that this is all quite unique. The fiber will never set the same way twice, so even any two examples of this 100-piece series will be in detail different from each other. The material is first molded, then it's cured, and then it is carved, and that shapes and stabilizes it so it will hold its form over time. Now, it has a combination of subtle contrasts in shape and profile, a little bit more contrast in the form of the crown and the pushers, which have gloss finish. If you look, you could see that the shape of the crown, which is a screw down, that's actually faceted to match the shape of the bezel. It's one of the two iconic design elements of Girard-Perregaux. We'll see the other one in a moment. You can see that the chronograph pushers are satinated outboard, but they're actually polished on their beveled sides, so the attention to detail here is excellent. Now, the other design icon of Girard-Perregaux is the golden bridge, and it actually makes two appearances on this dial. Once is the logo below the name Girard-Perregaux, that is the golden bridge, but then you can even see it's in the shape of the counterweight of the seconds hand. The dial is nicely landscaped, and we can see outboard there's a nice anthracite gray satin metallic brushed Rehaut that acts as your scale for reading minutes, chronograph seconds, and fractions of a second. We have a little bit of a smoked fume fade to the dial, which is a bit lighter at the center than it is at its darkened edges. We have a sandwich style dial, which is a stencil over a base, which is why these hour indices have such depth. We'll do a quick loom shot so you can see that the watch, as a sports watch, is quite well loomed. The bezel itself matches the shape of that original reference 4266 Laureato from 1975, but while that was a quartz, this is very much mechanical. The detailing is exquisite. As you can see, we have sunken sub-registers that have a concentric pattern inboard in each case, and we have a date disc that's the same color as the dial, which is a nice detail that a lot of brands, even upscale brands, overlook. Taking a quick look at the hands, you can see that they're faceted on their sides and mirror polished on their flanks, but they're also satinated across their tops, which makes for a nice contrast and easier reading of the time on the dial. The watch does include a hacking or stop seconds function, and then there is a quick set for the date, so you can rapidly cycle the date if you need to. And in a sign of good taste, and once again, attention to detail, the font used for the numerals on the dial is the same as the font used for the numerals on the disc. It has a screw-down crown. It is 50 meters water resistant. When that's paired with a screw-down crown, that is sufficient for surface swimming. We have a vertical clutch chronograph module on a Girard-Perregaux manufactured base movement, and underneath the reverse side, again, very unusual to see these watches with a composite case back. This is usually made of some sort of lightweight metal. But we have a Girard-Perregaux 3300 base. Technically, the movement with the module is called the 03300-1058. So it has a unidirectional automatic winding, ultra-thin, fine high horology base with a 46-hour power reserve, stop seconds, the quick set date, and it beats weight at 8 beats per second. We have the Laureato Absolute logo on the reverse side, and a note that this is a limited edition out of 100 pieces. By the way, that GP3300 base has been used by all sorts of upscale brands over the years, including in chronometer spec by Vacheron, so it has a spectacular pedigree. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.